delicious. Coming in hot from the Republic of South Africa, we got Crusader Nell. And as is standard for Predaplant decks, they're dueling as Yuri, and right off the bat, they activate their skill, Starving Venom Invasion. So by revealing Predap or fusion cards in their hand, they add Polymerization and one Predap card to their hand. They then start setting up their board. First, they fusion summon Ambulo Melodies, then they activate a plethora of effects that adds to their hand and summons monsters. I'm not very experienced against Predaplant, so I have no idea what most of these cards do, and neither did I do much research on it, but it seems like this was a pretty strong start on their end. They then fusion summon Chimera Phlasia, and then fuses one last time to summon Dragostapelia. Then they set 2 cards to end their turn. So now it's my turn and I draw Allure of Darkness, but right away they use Chimera Phlasia to add Fusion Recovery to their hand. So I use my Allure to draw, then banish my Shell Rocket, and then I summon my Metal Rocket, then activate my skill to set Boot Sector Launch from my deck. They then channel their inner Jaden and pull a fast one on me, which I did not see coming at all, and they activate Superpolymerization and summons the very creature that I was just about to summon, which is Borreload Furious Dragon. Things are not looking good for me right now, so I drop my Boral Regenerator to bring back my Silver Rocket just so I can defend myself, but they counter with Furious Dragon, and interestingly they choose to sacrifice itself, which was weird, in order to destroy my Regenerator, which was smart because Regenerator only lets me draw if my monster is destroyed, not the spell. So with nothing left for me to do, I set my Drowning Mirror Force and hope for the best. So now it's their turn again, and they start building up resources again, which this deck seems really good at doing, and they fusion summon Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, which just looks absolutely awesome. And lucky for me, they have no back row clear and just decides to attack, triggering my Drowning Mirror Force, which sends both their attack position monsters back to their deck. So it's my turn, and after surviving the onslaught, I draw a monster. Then my skill activates and places a Duelist Dragon in my graveyard, and I use Boot Sector Launch and respawn a rocket from my grave, which triggers my Duelist to appear for a free Link 2. Then I summon the rocket in my hand and finally Link summon my boss monster, Borreload Dragon, which is an absolute beast of a card. I then attack and use its effect to take control of his Ambulo Melodies, and as I end my turn, he decides to pop Necrofusion, so by banishing materials from his grave, he summons his Chimera Phlasia once again, so I use Borreload to lower its attack by 500, which is important to defend against Chimera Phlasia's effect. But come their turn, they end up using it to fusion summon Starving Venom Fusion Dragon once again, and uses its effect to boost its attack by my Borreload's attack points. They proceed to attack, but Borreload lowers its attack by 500, which saves me some life points. Now it's my turn. I got no monsters, no back row, and no hand, but I know as long as I have Boot Sector Launch, I can definitely make a comeback, especially since all his cards are lined up perfectly for me. I top deck none other than Quick Launch, which is pure perfection, and since they have 2 more monsters than I do, I use Boot Sector Launch to respawn 2 rockets from my grave, one of them being Metal Rocket, which I position in the same column as all the cards on his board, then Quick Launch into Rocket Tracer. I use it to pop my Resurrected Rocket as a contingency plan for defense later, which brings out another rocket, which I use to link into Booster Dragon, use its effect to trigger Metal Rocket's effect, which takes out the entire column. So juicy and delicious. Then they activate Starving Venom's effect, which takes out my Booster Dragon, which I completely forgot it can even do that. But honestly, that was a huge misplay on their part, because on destruction, my Booster Dragon can resurrect a dragon from my graveyard. So I bring back none other than my ultimate creature, Borreload Dragon, and I attack for game. This duel was just absolutely beautiful.